Man, I wish I was a real boy someday, instead of being stuck in this puny, stupid cartoon world. Man, I wish I was a real boy someday. I wish I can go on adventures. I wish I can meet people. I want to explore the world, not be stuck in this stupid cartoon world. Oh! No! The portal was closed! No! Ah, now how am I gonna get back home? Wait, where am I? What is this place? What is this world? Everything is real. This is going to be so cool! Blast off in 3, 2, 1! Woo! That was fun. Totally wicked. We gotta try that again. I couldn't hear you. I said blast off on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Could it be? Is that a trampoline? Oh boy, I want to bounce on it. Yippee! Yay! Yee! Boing! Yeah! Bounce! Boo! Uh-oh! Uh-oh! Look at me go! I'm jumping for joy! Woohoo! Hey there, folks. It's me once again, Corey the Visionary, and I just came here really briefly to just tell you all that there's a very, very special film of mine. Well, I don't know if I can call it special, but a very, very older film of mine has recently just turned 10, and the name of that film is called Welcome to the Real World, Borey. For those who have been following me since the very beginning of this channel and since the very beginning of my journey, you would remember that film. It was about this little blue guy by the name of Borey. It's funny how that name came along. A classmate of mine at the time, we were in high school, and this film was based on a segment that we did in our class called Tiger TV. It was a class that was designed to, deliver the school news to everybody in the school, and I was part of this class for a semester. So our teacher at the time, she told us to come up with all different kinds of skits and concepts that would reflect, school morale. And Borey just happened to be one of those skits that I came up with. And, this classmate of mine, she gave me that name as kind of a play on to my real name, Corey. Take away the C and just add a B to it. But yeah, it was about this little blue guy who came from this cartoon world, and he kind of wanted to be a real person, a real boy, kind of like a Pinocchio type of scenario. You know what I mean? So he just wanted to kind of leave his world behind and go to the real world, the live action world. And that's basically the premise of this particular skit that became a film over time. And I kind of just had this idea of creating this fish out of water story because, it kind of reflects my own life in a way. It really kind of puts a mirror in my face and say, hey, this is kind of you in a sense. So I just kind of wanted to, put a piece of myself within this character and showcase it to everybody. Now, at the time, I was still in the earlier stages of my filmmaking journey. I didn't really make the best projects back in the day, and this project just so happened to be one of those projects that just wasn't the best, story-wise, cinematography-wise, just editing-wise even, just everything. It gave off very, very amateur in a sense. But I don't know. I had a lot of fun with it at the time. Like I said, this started as a skit, like as a short skit, but then, I slowly, well, not slowly, but within that same year, I decided, you know what? This is an interesting story. So why not just turn this into a feature-length movie? And this story, I used the word special earlier, but this video, this movie, is actually unique because this was the first project that I made that was like 2 hours long. I had never hit the 2-hour mark in any of my old projects before, and Borey just so happened to be the first project to hit that milestone. And so this was my first ever feature-length movie on my YouTube channel. In my filmmaking pursuit, this is exactly 2 hours long. So I'm like, whoa, did I just create a 2-hour movie in my own house, in my own backyard, like in my own little, area? And sure enough, that's what happened. I made a 2-hour movie. Now, like I said, that movie, it's not very good.
No! I'm not leaving! We can share the park, and I demand some respect. I can stay here as long as I want to, and there's nothing you can do to stop me, and I'm not afraid of this big Teletubby here. What are you gonna do about it, Teletubby? Tubby? No, I was just playing. No, you don't have to go to extreme measures. No! I think I crushed my spleen.
If you do want to, go back and watch it, cool, that's fine. But just know it's not really a good movie. But at the end of the day, I guess I can say that I'm proud of it in the sense that, I don't know, I just can't believe I was that brave enough to make a movie like that, because I don't think I can make a movie that way today, knowing all the stuff that I know now in my craft and in my pursuits. I don't think I can make that movie the same way that I made it back then. And like I said, that was 10 years ago. I was 15 when I made that movie, and I'm 25 now. So, I learned a lot between the age of 15 and 25, that's a big gap. I'm just not the same guy. I'm not the same person that I used to be. Back then I used to just make all kinds of slop. I used to just take the camera, just point and shoot and just make whatever. I didn't even write down most of my ideas. I just kind of shot it and tried to make something out of it, I didn't really have much of a plan, it was just kind of running and gunning. But I'm at the point now where I'm trying to slow down and trying to actually think about the stories and the things that I want to make going forward in the future. And, there was a time when I almost wanted to kill this movie, like literally kill it, like delete it from the face of the earth so that way nobody would ever see it. And the sequel too, it's called Welcome Back, Borey, but that came out 4 years after that, which was in 2020, not too long ago. But yeah, looking back in retrospect, I guess you can say I am proud of this film in the sense that it really taught me a lot about what I needed to improve on in my filmmaking pursuits going forward after that. It also taught me that, maybe, this isn't really a good movie to watch, or maybe, people are going to forget about it. But at the end of the day, the fact that you had the guts to make what you believed in, you know, it really said a lot about my character back then. It really just kind of showed the resilience and the boldness that I had back in the day. And it's funny because over the years I've become a little less bold than what I was, but I'm hoping to reclaim that spirit again, or that eye of the tiger, as Apollo Creed once told Rocky that he needed to attain again in Rocky 3. But nevertheless, this film really taught me that if I put my mind towards something, I can do it. And shoot, like I said, this was a feature-length movie. You know what I'm saying? I never thought this movie would be 2 hours long. I'm like, huh? What? And when I was editing it, I looked at the final runtime and I was like, wait a minute, there's no way I made a 2-hour movie at the age of 15. That makes no sense. But yeah, this film, I hope that it inspires somebody to make something, whether it's good, whether it's crappy, whether it's slop or whatever. Just get it made, and that way you can look back at it years later and be like, okay, now I know where I messed up at when I made this, so I know what not to do the next time. And that's kind of like where I'm at in my filmmaking journey. Like I said, I contemplated on deleting this movie from my YouTube channel and deleting my other crappy movies from back in the day. But then I realized, no, I don't think I should do that, because, I want to kind of leave those movies on my channel to, kind of like scars, in the sense, like represent that those were old scars and old wounds that I had, and just show people that, okay, the stuff that I make now, it wasn't always like this. What I'm saying? I had to fall, I had to fail, I had to start somewhere in order to make, something better looking, or, a better story or whatever. So, what I'm saying? Like, I didn't get to this point in my life or get to this level overnight. So I'm kind of just leaving my old videos there to show people that, yeah, like, I'm not some overnight person, and I'm still not an overnight person. You know what I'm saying? Like, I still have a long way to go. I still have a long journey to go. Like I said, I'm 25 years old. I got more time in front of me than I have behind me. You know what I'm saying? So I have time to make more films and fail and improve upon them. You know what I'm saying? Like, my journey is just getting started. My journey is still continuing. I have a long odyssey. I have a long journey ahead of me. And, I just, yeah, hopefully I can look back at this once again in another 10 years, and it'll be 20 years since this film released, and I can just be like, man, where did the time go? Like, man, that was so bad. Wow. I'm glad I don't think like that anymore. I'm glad I don't, set the camera like this anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, I leave my old projects up to let it be a reminder of where I came from and how I started. So that way it'll motivate me to keep pushing and keep going, And another thing before I close this out was, my stories, I tend to write characters who feel different from the outside world, who feel alienated from the outside world, and put them in these like fish out of water scenarios to that way they can discover a piece of themselves that they haven't been able to discover within, the environments that they came from. So when they go into other places and go to other, journeys and, encounter different people in different scenarios, it unlocks something special inside of them. And that's the story of my life, basically. It really is. Like, sometimes I do feel like a fish out of water, and it feels lonely, where I come from. It feels very lonely, but, I often get looked at as being different from the outside world. And, I'm okay with being different, but, I want to tell these different stories to inspire people that, yeah, it's okay to be peculiar. It's okay to be, outside of the norm. It's okay to be a fish out of water, because at the end of the day, the only person you can be is really yourself. And no matter where you go, even if you are that fish out of water, enjoy the environment, enjoy the air that's around you. You know what I'm saying? And just appreciate yourself, really. Love yourself. Don't be afraid to stand out and be different, And that's kind of like the central themes of some of my projects, or this, or if not, then basically it's just, okay, there's a character who's just different. There's something odd about them, but they spend time trying to unleash that peculiarity, in the sense that it makes them into a better character or a worse character, depending on which route I take. Like, do I want to tell from a hero's perspective or a villain's perspective? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, most of my stories are fish out of water type narratives, because that's just the story of my life. And I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing, and hopefully I can look back at this film once again and laugh at it, and laugh at how ridiculous it is. Maybe watch it with a couple of friends one day, just so we can all poke fun at it. I don't mind, people watching my old stuff and poking fun at it, because trust me, honestly, to tell you the truth, if I wasn't doing this video, I don't really pay attention to my old stuff like that. I don't really go back and watch it. I kind of just make something and just drop it off and just leave it there. But yeah, I guess it was kind of good revisiting this a little bit, just kind of remember it. But yeah, happy 10 years to Borey. Happy 10 years. Hopefully to see you guys for more 10 years and many more decades along the way.